Welcome to Scholastic IQ, the game where knowledge rules. I'm your host, Ethan Neer, and we have another great episode today with a very special team this week. So let's go ahead and introduce those teams. On the bottom, we have that special team, the hometown heroes, not to be biased at all, but Carbondale with Theodore, Clark, Jay, and Daniel. And on the top, we have West Frankfort with Christopher, Joseph, Jacob, and Brian. Now, before we get into our game, let's just do a quick rundown of the rules. We'll start off with some toss-up questions. Each of those will be worth 10 points apiece. If a team gets it right, they get to move on to a bonus question that's worth 20 points, and it can be stolen for 10. You guys are allowed to interrupt me at any time, but if you interrupt me and get the question wrong, it is 5 points for the other team. So if you're going to interrupt me, make sure you're right. All right, we all understand the rules. We're all on the same page. Great. Let's get into the questions. What author of No Cross, No Crown received a 1681 land grant from Charles II and was a Quaker who established a colony where he founded Philadelphia? Daniel.
Penn.
William Penn is correct. Well done. For your bonus, Joseph Priestley is one of two chemists credited with discovering what gas, which Priestley referred to as dephlogisticated air.
Hydrogen.
Hydrogen is incorrect. Frankfurt, the chance to steal.
Oxygen.
Oxygen is correct. Well done. 10 points apiece. For your next question, what programming structures are often unrolled during compilation, come in for and while types? Clark.
Loop.
Loop is correct. Well done. For your bonus, what animal who created the Milky Way by throwing some of black god stars into the sky was the trickster god of Navajo mythology?
Yeah. Coyote.
Coyote is correct. Well done, James. Your next question. Which goddess who killed the daughters of Niobe and Jay?
Artemis.
Artemis is correct. Well done. In what city can one walk up the Spanish steps to the Trinidad de Monte church?
Rome.
Rome is correct. Well done. Back to the toss-ups. What sitcom depicted a drink called snake juice that intoxicates Ron? Theodore.
Parks and Recreation.
Parks and Rec is correct. Well done. For your bonus, what group of particles named after a word from James Joyce's Finnegan's Wake comes in 6 flavors like strange, bottom, and top?
Quarks.
Quarks is correct. Well done. For the next toss-up, what island whose north shore includes Cold Spring Harbor is home to the boroughs of Queens and Brooklyn and is New York's largest island? Theodore.
Long Island.
Long Island is correct. Also home to the New York Islanders. For your bonus, before taking England, William the Conqueror ruled what French duchy that was originally seized by 4 Vikings by Rollo in the 10th century?
Saxon. Normandy.
Normandy is correct. Well done.
Nice.
The next question, what religion who persecuted priests called kakure, or hidden in Tokugawa-era Japan, was spread by Francis Xavier and other Jesuits? Clark.
Christianity.
Christianity is correct. Well done. For your bonus, what long Latin poem by Ovid describes many examples of the tidal phenomena, includes nihilus being changed into stone and talus becoming a partridge?
Transformation.
Transformation is incorrect. Frankfurt, the chance to steal.
No answer.
The answer we're looking for was the metamorphoses. So, I mean, just a different word for transformation. Jay, I see you shaking your fist. Might have had that one. And that will now take us to our first media question. This was a comedic American entertainer who is known for his humorous persona, including an accentuated shrill voice and a stress on raunchy comedy. Theodore.
Gottfried.
Do we need the full name for that one? I'm going to guess no. I'm going to take it. Gilbert Gottfried is correct. Well done. And since that is a media question, there is going to be no bonus question. We'll just take it right back to a toss-up. What quantity, which is constant in isochloric processes, is inversely proportional to pressure by Boyle's law and can be measured in liters? Daniel.
Volume.
Volume is correct. Well done. For your bonus, in what European capital city was Zaniar Montapur arrested in June 2022 after committing a mass shooting at an LGBT pride festival?
Oslo.
Oslo is correct. Well done.
Nice.
For the next question, what astronomical objects which title a 1978 story by Alice Munro include Europa, Io, Daniel?
Moon.
Moon is correct. Well done. Actually, do we need both parts of that answer? We do need both parts of that answer. So incorrect. We need both parts of Europa, Io, and Ganymede are the orbits of the solar system's largest planet. Jacob.
Jupiter.
Jupiter's
moons.
There you go. I was like, he said the first part, you said just the second part. Jupiter's moons, that is correct. And for your bonus, since 2011, what country contains much of the Atlas Mountains range and has been the largest in Africa by area? So you guys are all out of time. Carbondale, the chance to steal.
Algeria.
Algeria is correct. So I'll take us back to the toss-ups. What two Americans named the county that contains Helena, Montana, because they crossed the area in 1805 and 1806? Jay.
Lewis and Clark.
Lewis and Clark is correct. Well done. For your bonus, what Middle Eastern country whose current king is Abdullah II has been ruled by the Hashemite dynasty since 1921?
Jordan.
Jordan is correct. Well done. Back to the toss-ups. What novel in which the psychic Landau convinces an aristocrat not to divorce an adulterous woman who later jumps under a train is by Leo Tolstoy? Dan.
Anna Karenina.
Anna Karenina is correct. Well done. And for your bonus, pencil and paper ready. What number of circles with a diameter of 4 will collectively have the same area as a single circle whose diameter is 12?
Six.
6 is incorrect. West Frankfort, the chance to steal.
12.
12 is also incorrect. The answer we're looking for was 9. 9. Back to the toss-ups. What technique, one type of which uses STL files to aid in FDM? Clark.
3D printing.
3D printing is correct. Well done. For your bonus, the name of what food appears in an alternative name for amateur radio and is hyphenated with handed or fisted in expressions meaning graceless?
Ham.
Ham.
Ham radio is correct. Well done. Back to the toss-ups. What Renaissance artist was inspired by the ancient Roman author of De Architectura to depict ideal human proportions in his drawing? Clark.
Da Vinci.
Leonardo da Vinci is correct. Well done. For your bonus, what country whose name may derive from a term meaning mountain of vomiting water is the most populous in Central America and is west of Belize?
Yeah.
Nicaragua.
Nicaragua is incorrect. West Frankfort, the chance to steal.
Honduras.
Honduras is also incorrect. The answer we're looking for was Guatemala. Guatemala. And that'll take us to another media question. This website is used for creators who want to expand. Daniel.
Archives of Our Own.
Archives of Our Own is correct. Well done. Back to the toss-ups. What city where Rick Caruso and Karen Bass are running in a 2022 mayoral election to replace Eric Garcetti is the most populous in California? Jacob.
Los Angeles.
Los Angeles is correct. Well done. For your bonus, in 1764, James Hargreaves invented what hand-powered machine with a partly feminine name that could produce many spools of yarn at once?
A spinning jenny.
Spinning jenny is correct. Well done. Next question. What language was used to write both The Plum in the Golden Vase and its source material, the great classical novel, Water Margin by Shi Naiyan? Jay.
Korean.
Korean is incorrect. Jacob.
Chinese.
Chinese is correct. Well done. For your bonus, John Warden was the first captain of what Union ironclad that in 1862 fought against the Confederate ship CSS Virginia?
Chesapeake.
Chesapeake is incorrect. Carbondale, the chance to steal.
Monitor.
USS Monitor is correct. Well done. Back to the toss-ups. What Midwestern university names an economics school led by George Stigler and Milton Friedman that advocates monetarism instead of Keynesianism? Or Keynesianism? Sorry, you guys are all out of time. The answer we're looking for was Sweet Home Chicago, the University of Chicago. Back to the toss-ups. What diatomic compound can react with methanol to form acetic acid, has a very high affinity for hemoglobin, and is sometimes called a silent killer? Clark.
Carbon monoxide.
Carbon monoxide is correct. Well done. For your bonus, under hostile conditions, the bacteria that cause botulism can form what hardened dormant structures that can survive for centuries?
Tumor.
Tumors is incorrect. West Frankfort, the chance to steal.
Bacteriophage?
That's also incorrect. The answer we're looking for was endospores. Endospores. Back to the toss-ups. What baseball player who in 2022 became the third man with a career 300 average to reach 500 home runs and 3,000 hits plays for the Tigers? Jacob.
Miguel Cabrera.
Miguel Cabrera is correct. Well done. For your bonus, the Game of the Year winner at the 2021 Game Awards was what exclusively co-op game about a pair of dolls representing a pair of divorcing parents?
Two of Us?
Two of Us is incorrect. Weirdly enough, one of the parents is British and one of them is American in the game. It's really weird. I don't. And then the kid's British. It's just.
It Takes Two.
It Takes Two is correct. Well done. Fantastic game, by the way. And that will now take us to the lightning round. The way our lightning round works is each team will have 60 seconds to answer as many questions as they can about a particular topic. Now, Frankfurt, since you guys are trailing in this one, you guys will get to pick your topic first. Your choices are lightning, that's fitting, literary animals, pun words, and revolutions. I hope somebody picks pun words. That sounds fun.
Literary animals, please.
Literary animals it is. Given a literary character, identify what animal it is. And you guys will get 60 seconds on the clock. I will count you down. 3, 2, 1. Charlotte and Charlotte's Web.
Spider.
That's correct. Moby Dick.
Whale.
That's correct. Napoleon and Animal Farm. You can pass as well.
Horse.
That's incorrect. Aslan in the Chronicles of Narnia.
Lion.
That's correct. Buck in Call of the Wild.
Wolf.
That's incorrect. Rocinante in Don Quixote. Or Rocinante in Don Quixote.
Pass.
Hazel in Watership Down.
Rabbit.
That's correct. Richard Parker in Life of Pi.
Tiger.
That's correct. Rikki Tikki Tavi in The Jungle Book.
A snake.
That is incorrect. Captain Flint in Long John Silver's Pet in Treasure Island. Oh, yeah. Captain Flint, Long John Silver's Pet in Treasure Island. Excuse me.
Pass.
Rocinante in Don Quixote.
Horse.
That's correct. Captain Flint in Long John Silver's Pet in Treasure Island. And you guys are all out of time, so we'll go through the ones that you missed. Napoleon in Animal Farm was a pig. Buck in Call of the Wild was not a wolf, but a dog. Rikki Tikki Tavi in The Jungle Book was a mongoose. And Captain Flint, Long John Silver's Pet in Treasure Island was a parrot. So going 7 out of 10 on that. Pick yourself up 70 points. Well done. Now to Carbondale. I'll reread you your choices again. They are lightning, pun words, and revolutions.
Pun words.
Pun words it is, yay. That one sounds the most fun. All right, pun words. Given these words that contain the consecutive letters P-U-N. Oh, that's not nearly as fun as I thought it would be. All right, 60 seconds on the clock, and I will count you down. 3, 2, 1. An admirable type of courage or gumption.
Punctuality.
That's incorrect. Extremely smelly.
Pungent.
That's correct. Asian folk remedy in which tiny needles are pushed into skin.
Oh, acupuncture.
Acupuncture is correct. A supposed expert interviewed on news shows.
Pass.
Pundit's correct. To totally erase something from a record.
Expunge.
That's correct. Tiny and insignificant.
Puny.
That's correct. A nonconformist troublemaker or delinquent.
Punk.
That's correct. Safety from consequence or discipline.
Pass.
Never late, always on time.
Punctual.
That's correct. A qualm or slight feeling of regret.
Pass.
Safety from consequence or discipline.
Pass.
A qualm or slight feeling of regret.
Pass.
Those are the only two.
Wait.
Oh, can we?
Oh, the first one, safety from consequence or discipline.
Impunitive.
That's correct. A qualm, and you guys are out of time. So the one that you guys wrong out at the beginning, an admirable type of courage or gumption is spunk.
Oh.
And then a qualm or slight feeling of regret is compunction. Compunction. So getting, I believe, 8 out of 10 on that. Well done. Let's just take a quick look at our scores after the lightning round. So we have Frankfort with 135 and Carbondale with 390. So you guys, Carbondale in firm control, but Frankfort, no reason you guys can't come back in the second half. Still a lot of game left to be played. Let's get back into those questions. What man's speech on the cult of personality and its consequences, nicknamed The Secret Speech, denounced the purges of his predecessor, Joseph Stalin? Theodore.
Khrushchev.
Nikita Khrushchev is correct. Hold on. For your bonus, what Israeli city along the Mediterranean Sea is home to most of the country's foreign embassies?
Tel Aviv.
Tel Aviv.
Tel Aviv is correct. Hold on. For the toss-up, what author wrote about 5th grade bullies in the novel Blubber and described a girl's first period in the novel, Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret? Theodore.
Judy Blume.
Judy Blume is correct. Well done. For your bonus, in 1981, members of what profession which made up the PATCO union were fired by Ronald Reagan after a lengthy strike?
Air traffic controllers.
Air traffic controllers.
Air traffic controllers is correct. Well done. So the next toss-up, what wind instrument with a heckle type depicts the grandfather in The Peter and the Wolf, uses a double reed, and has a larger, Theodore?
Bassoon.
Bassoon is correct. Well done. For your bonus, while performing tawaf, Muslims circle 7 times around what holiest object in Islam, which is a large granite cube-shaped structure in Mecca?
Kaaba.
The Kaaba is correct. Well done. The next toss-up, what group whose member Ethan Nordine was charged with conspiracy in relation to the January 6th riot is an all-male far-right activist group? Clerk.
Proud Boys.
Proud Boys is correct. Well done. For your bonus, what precursor of norepinephrine is a neurotransmitter produced in the brain's reward circuit and released after many pleasurable activities?
Serotonin.
Serotonin is incorrect. Frankfurt, the chance to steal.
Dopamine.
Dopamine is correct. Well done. For the next toss-up, what Victorian author wrote about Weena, one of the small Eloi people from the year 800 to 2701 AD, in a science fiction novel titled Daniel.
Wells.
H.G. Wells is correct. Well done. For your bonus, the Jacobite uprisings aimed to restore what royal dynasty which united the English and Scottish crowns during the reign of James I?
Lancaster.
Lancaster is incorrect. Frankfurt, the chance to steal.
Tudor.
Tudor is also incorrect. The answer we're looking for was the House of Stuart, or the Stuarts. Back to the toss-ups. What point at which 2 plumb lines intersect is the same as the centroid for a body of uniform density and is a weighted average of a body's matter? Jay.
Center of gravity.
Center of gravity is correct. Well done. For your bonus, in the 1860s, the magazine Overland Monthly published what author's stories? The Luck of Roaring Camp and The Outcasts of Poker Flat.
Cole.
Cole is incorrect. Frankfurt, the chance to steal.
Smith.
Smith is also incorrect. The answer we're looking for was not to be confused with the WWE wrestler Bret Hart, not Bret the Hitman Hart. And I'll take us to our next toss-up. What UK Prime Minister who took office after the Norway debate offered blood, toil, tears, and sweat upon succeeding Neville Chamberlain in 1940? Daniel.
Churchill.
Winston Churchill is correct. Well done. For your bonus, what man who in 2021 became the oldest person to win an acting Oscar for his role in The Father played Hannibal Lecter in The Silence of the Lambs?
Hopkins.
Anthony Hopkins is correct. I think he also played Bowser in the original Mario Bros. Movie too, which I think Nintendo would like to forget ever happened. And that'll take us to our next media question. Concluding with 6 seasons and 2 movies on Cartoon Network, this 2003 dark comedy, Joseph,
Grim Tales of Bill and Mandy.
are we going to accept that? We'll accept that. Okay. It's technically the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, but still Billy and Mandy. Well done. And that'll take us to another toss-up. What author wrote about a trip to the city of Archangel undertaken by explorer Robert Walton at the start of her 1818 horror novel, Frankenstein? Jacob.
Mary Shelley.
Mary Shelley is correct. Well done. For your bonus, what composer who led the Second Viennese School wrote a 1928 work, Variations for Orchestra, that displays his 12-tone technique?
Moriarty.
Moriarty is incorrect. Carbondale, the chance to steal.
Gershwin.
Gershwin is incorrect. The answer we're looking for was Arnold Schoenberg. Back to our next question. What country, which controls the world's largest natural gas field, is home to the headquarters of Al Jazeera in Doha and hosted Jacob?
Qatar.
Qatar is correct. For your bonus, the 18th Amendment was implemented by what 1919 act that allowed the federal government to enforce prohibition? I'm sorry, you guys are all out of time. Carbondale, chance to steal.
Anti-Saloon Act.
Say again?
The Anti-Saloon Act.
Anti-Saloon Act is incorrect. It is the so aptly named National Prohibition Act, or the Volstead Act. And that'll take us to our next toss-up. What Italian artist showed the 3 Graces dancing in a circle to the left of the goddess Venus in an... Daniel.
Botticelli.
Botticelli is correct. Well done. For your bonus, what playwright depicted Peter impaling himself on a knife held by Jerry in The Zoo Story, and also wrote the 1961 play Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf?
Albeed. Yeah, isn't it Albeed? Isn't it Albeed? Yeah, Albeed.
Albee is correct. Edward Albee. For the next toss-up, what moon, which is mutually tidally locked due to its large size relative to the dwarf planet it orbits, was the first known moon of Pluto? Theodore.
Karen.
I always thought it was pronounced Karen as well. It's technically Sharon, but yeah, that's correct. Yeah, that's what my pronunciation guide was telling me. I was real confused by that one. And for your bonus, pencil and paper ready. What is the measure of the smallest angle in a triangle whose angles have a ratio of 1 to 2 to 6?
Degrees. 20 degrees.
20 degrees is correct. Well done. For the next toss-up, what president who signed the Chinese Exclusion Act and the Pendleton Civil Service Act became president after the assassination of James Garfield? Jacob.
Arthur.
Chester Alan Arthur is correct. Well done, Jacob. For your next bonus, what country's Prime Minister Mario Draghi resigned in July 2022 after 2 confidence votes, leading to a September 2022 snap election?
Brazil.
Brazil is incorrect. Carbondale, the chance to steal.
Yeah. Italy.
Italy is correct. Well done. For the next toss-up, what river, whose lower section is known as the Padma, forms the world's largest delta in Bangladesh and is the holiest river of Hinduism?
Ganges.
Ganges is correct. Fun. For your bonus, what teenage girl works at a grocery store owned by her father, Maverick, and sees a policeman shoot her friend, Khalil, in Angie Thomas's novel, The Hate You Give?
Maya.
Maya is incorrect. Frankfort, the chance to steal.
Smith.
Smith is incorrect. The answer we're looking for there was Star Carter. Star Carter. And that bell means that we are all out of time on today's show, so let's take a quick look at the points. We have Carbondale with 620 and Frankfort with 185. So Carbondale just taking control from the get-go and really just not letting go. Well done. So that is all the time we have for on today's episode. For all of the people working hard behind the scenes and all of our lovely contestants here today, I'm Ethan Neer. Thank you so much, and good night.